As a professional psychologist, I can tell you that successful positive parenting is built upon a sturdy family culture. Vicki and I are coming together today to share this with you because there's an art to this.
So that stands for attitudes, routines, and traditions.
All right, a little self-disclosure to start with. We sometimes watch television programs that people might find weird. There's one that we've watched called My 600-Pound Life. Some of you have probably seen this. But the thing that strikes me about this, and it's about people who are so overweight that their health is threatened. They're probably going to die from this condition. And they go through and follow these people in this show. Well, they can't even get their life-saving surgeries until they can establish that they are willing to change their lifestyle.
Yeah, it's not a quick fix. They have to change a lot of things about the way they think, the way they interact, the way they live their everyday life. And it's their attitude, really. It's their attitude about living and about the way that they conduct themselves each day that has to change.
So bringing this idea of attitude and mindset back to our family culture, this is what sets the tone for everything else, for the discipline, for the communication, for all of the relationships. Attitude sets the tone. We've done this intentionally in our family. Do you remember our family mantra?
Of course.
How we set that up?
Joy in the journey, force for good, bless a life today. Right?
And usually when we did it as a cheer, it would come with a
at the end.
afterwards, just to make it fun for the kids.
It's a choice of what attitude you want to kind of permeate your home and your family culture. And we wanted one of enjoying life, to living the life, being present in the life that we're leading, no matter what stage it was at. You know, we've been through every stage. You start out, you know, you have very little, you've got little kids, you're sleep deprived, you've got teenagers. It's every stage. There's every financial stage too. And so you're going to have an attitude. We had chosen for our family, we wanted an attitude of being present and enjoying the journey and somehow being a force for good no matter what we're doing.
That productivity and positivity. And because we were intentional about that, there were other things that we naturally did to support that. I remember that there was a saying that was posted up above our television that said, in all of living, have much fun and enjoyment. Life is to be enjoyed, not just endured.
Right.
Something like that. I don't know that I got
like
the quote correct. But,
not exactly, but close.
but this is what creates the tone and sets the stage. Attitude is everything. And just another little thought about attitude, which I've shared before here on the channel. Our son is a pilot. Our second son flies airplanes. And this attitude is an aviation term. It has to do with the position of the aircraft relative to the ground or the horizon. And the attitude is what determines where you're going. It doesn't tell you where you are. But can you see that a nose-up attitude is going to give you altitude? A nose-down attitude is heading you into the hard stuff.
Right.
That's true at home.
Right.
So check your attitude and let's be intentional about creating a solid, stable family culture based on a positive attitude. We'll get right back to that content. Think of another family who could really benefit from learning about this family culture. Share the video with them.
Okay, going back to the art of this parenting skill, we're going to talk about routines, the R. Routines are so important to establish to help kids feel secure and to know what's coming. They really, really like that feeling of knowing what to expect. Routines also help you as the parent so that you can be consistent, and this really helps in disciplining. I swear the hardest part of parenting, you come up with these really great ideas and then it's the follow through. That is so hard in parenting, I feel like. And so having really set some intentional routines helps you become more consistent and help with the discipline.
We've sometimes mentioned in talking about discipline the importance of consistency,
Right.
and I'm glad that you mentioned that. It's kind of like the difference between a slot machine and a vending machine, where a slot machine is not consistent,
Right.
and people will play that all day long with sometimes a reward and sometimes not. But a vending machine, you expect that consistency.
Right.
And in terms of behavioral psychology, that consistency is what is going to make all the difference in the training of these young minds. Just remember that. And you don't have to know a lot about behavioral psychology to appreciate the importance of the consistency. I just want you to know that there's strong, scientifically based reasons to do this.
And it's not really just for the outcome that you're trying to get, but really children do need that consistency. It gives them security.
Right. Here's the child psychology piece. These little kids, let's take a 5-year-old, for example. And this 5-year-old's thinking, man, this is a big, scary world out here. I wonder if I'm safe. And they're going to look where? To their parents.
Right.
They want to see that their parents are strong enough and stable enough and consistent enough to keep them safe in a world where they don't really feel safe, which is also why they'll push your buttons sometimes. They want to test that.
Yeah. So besides just the discipline, there are other wonderful routines we can set into place, like family meals. Or family time. Some people just set aside a certain amount of time every week to play games together. Or there's family councils when you get together and you discuss the important issues that are going on, the schedules of the family, so that you can kind of be on the same page.
Now remember the word that Vicki presented at the beginning, routines. It doesn't mean that we just do it here and there once in a while whenever we feel like it. We set up some kind of a schedule, a routine. And that's what turns us into a vending machine rather than a slot machine. That's what gives our kids that feeling of security and safety. You mentioned the family meals, the family council meetings that you hold. All of those things become something that is absolutely predictable in your child's mind. Now, disclaimer. You're not going to do this perfectly.
No.
Okay? So no beating yourself up because, I'm not doing that very well. Just look at what you could do to make some slight improvements here and there. It's a process, not an event. I think we could say that about all of parenting.
Yes, definitely.
Let's come back to our original idea also about establishing this sturdy family culture.
Right.
You can see that the predictability is what is going to put the structure around this culture that you're creating in your family and in your home. And we've mentioned a few things, kind of the lofty things of family council meetings and family meals together. But it includes some other really practical
even really
things,
practical,
too.
like the chores. Because really, your
Yeah,
family
good
culture is
example.
we're hard workers. We want to be productive. We want to give to society service. Might be
Right.
one of your routines is that you do some type of service.
The responsibilities, the work, that's all part of establishing that same culture. The T in the art of establishing a family culture stands for tradition. You might be thinking right out of the chute, okay, how are traditions and routines different? Traditions differ from routines. It has more of a cultural feel to it, which is why we've got to include this in building our sturdy family culture. When two people come together to form a family, they are merging two different family experiences, sometimes two different cultures or ethnicities or religions or whatever they're coming to the
And it's
table
through
with.
traditions that we kind of merge those, but also create a new one, which is really kind of
Right.
the beautiful part of it, right?
One that didn't even exist before. Because of the merging, we're creating something that is completely unprecedented.
And I've even found in our family that sometimes we start something and it ends up meaning so much to the children that we kind of realize that we've just kind of given birth to a new tradition and we
Right.
keep it going because of what it means. So I think there's a lot of meaning behind traditions. It also is a time for remembering things that have happened in the past, remembering people, honoring our loved ones. I think there's a lot of remembering and honoring built into the
like the
legacy
way
of
you said that.
traditions.
It's a sense of who we are. It gives us our family identity. And I can see that some routines might become traditions.
Yeah.
But we're talking about the things, like you said, Vicki, I like the way you said that it's things that have greater meaning or purpose, that honors our legacy and our heritage. And that's what makes it more of a tradition. So we're looking at holidays and observances and how we think about and honor our extended family or our culture, our background. That's really what we're talking about when it comes to traditions. And I think that's an important part of establishing a sturdy family culture. There's a lot to this. We realize that, and we're not going to leave you hanging. In fact, cue up that next video. The power of positive parenting is something that you're already connected to. That next video will help you to take the next steps.